Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. I'm your host, Faith James, and today we are wrapping up our reading from What You Think of Me Is None of My Business, Terry Cole Whitaker. If you haven't picked up the book, it's a great read. For those of you who have been in the studio with me all month long, you know we've had some really good tips in terms of like going beyond your comfort zone. Others are not your source. God Himself and God alone is your source. We went through breaking the circle of guilt. Obviously, we're always unbothered. Hashtag always unbothered. Asking for what you want is so powerful. So today we wrap and we're going to talk about what you've got on deck for July. So let's go say hey to the Momentum crew. Let's see who's in the studio. Good morning, beautiful Amber here as always. Good morning, beautiful Marion. Yes, always here as well. Hello, beautiful Juliet. I love that you're here. Brenda, yay, we love the show as well, and we love you. Look at Jacqueline being awesome from Mexico, like just still committed, even though she's on a holiday celebrating her friend's birthday. She is still here, present and accounted for. Love that. And good morning, beautiful Karen. How are you, gorgeous? So happy to have you here. Let us read. And of course, share, tag, share the love, share the joy, share the wealth. The things that we give away are the things that we get. So if you are intentionally giving away the show, the vitamin I, the vitamin inspiration, the motivation, the encouragement that you get every month, then that's only going to come back to you tenfold. Good morning, beautiful Arvis, being awesome over on the YouTube channel. I love it. Yes, you are still here. All right, so chapter 20, what you think of me is none of my business. Whatever the nature of the specific problems we have discussed in this book, I think you will see that virtually all of our problems are either caused or compounded by our obsessive need for acceptance and approval from other people. Let us just pause on that. I just told you God is your source. And so we're doing this life unto God. We're not doing this life unto man. We're not seeking approval in terms of our only next step happens when somebody says, yeah, it's a good idea. Remember, Good Time Tina is not in your corporation. She is not in your meeting. She's not in any of your masterminds. She is just sitting on the sidelines, sipping her margarita, sipping her dirty martini, whatever, and wanting to give you advice. And it's so insidious how that happens, right? Because we have this deep desire, this need for approval, that we will actually take feedback or advice or consultation from people who aren't running your race. Like, just think about that. We so need to be approved that somebody who is ill-equipped, unqualified, but just because they have an opinion, and you know what we say about opinion, they're like your derriere, everybody's got one. And we take it just because that need to be approved is so strong. So everybody now within the sound of my voice, hashtag unbothered. Yes, Karen, I listen. We love Momentum Crew when the work sticks. Do you have a check for me? Do you have a check for me means unless you've got something significant material that's applying to my business, I have no words for you and you have no words for me. Exactly. They're not in your race. I tell people all the time, when you have your big vision, be unapologetic, be irrational, be out of control about it. Because if people are telling you, oh my God, that's so wild, potentially it's not big enough. Right? Think about that. It's not big enough. So today I'm going to wrap the show early because I get packed and I'm going to Vegas for the week. So many things happening there. Chief among them, I'm getting the top 100 influencer in advertising and marketing award, right? All glory to God. And I also get to sit on 2 panels and I get to deliver a keynote address. Huge, huge, huge. And when you think about the fact that for some people that just might just seem like it's just way out there and it's not even big enough. So in my keynote address, I sent the presentation in last night, and I talked about my vision. And this is what I want you guys to lock into. I said my vision for my agency is to build standout brands, increase visibility, increase perception, reputation in the marketplace across the galaxy. I didn't say in Florida or in the US or in the world, the galaxy. I am in outer space, people, and that's not even big enough. And it's like, why would you even say the galaxy? Because guess what? Shout out to the team for the Mars landing. We're going to be building brands on Mars. So that's where I'm thinking, and that's not even big enough. So go unapologetically, go boldly, right? Go charismatically, go unbothered, even though most people don't get what in the world it is that you're doing, why you're talking about the things that you're talking about, why you're causing the things that you're causing. God did not put the vision in them. He put it in you. And people can't see the things the way you see them because they're not sitting where you're sitting. Like, think about it. You go to a concert. If you're sitting orchestra level versus somebody who's 5 rows up in the nosebleed, do you think your view of the show is going to be different than the person who's sitting way up there? Of course it is. And so why would you expect somebody who's sitting way, way, way back there to give you any perspective on what you should be seeing and experiencing, orchestra level? When the show, if they have a water act, if you're at, I don't know, like Cirque du Soleil or something, and they're spraying water and you get wet, do you think the people way, way, way up, and they're not getting wet, they're not feeling that experience, that exhilaration, that joy of like, oh my gosh, I just totally got splashed? So we get to really act like we understand that not everybody's going to see the vision the way you see it. Most people want to tell you what to do because your audacity, the audaciousness of you to go for such a big vision makes them uncomfortable because it presents them to the fact that they're not playing to win. They're basically, as we say in leadership, playing not to lose. There is a difference when you play to win versus play not to lose. Energy is different, intention is different, everything about it is different. There's no comparison. And so this idea of our obsessiveness for acceptance and approval from other people will be the demise of us if we don't stop it. So yeah, we get to stop it right now. Absolutely, be unbothered. Thank you, Facebook user. Thank you, Donna. Yeah, it's a huge deal. Brenda, this is all glory to God. Yes, Donna, I said the galaxy. I said what I said. Oh my gosh. Yes, Karen, because you're a visionary just like me. Yes, Omega Channel, here we come. Thank you, Donna. And I do the analogies because it really it anchors the point. Yes, worldwide, exactly, worldwide. So one of the things that I did, and this is a pro tip for all of you who are speakers, you're speaking on stages, whether you're doing it virtually or not. When you see the list of attendees, if you see the list of speakers, you get to connect with them, right? That's one of the distinctions of Breakthrough, is to be connecting. And so yesterday, while of course it's going to take me a lot of time, I'm in the process of writing the presentation, and right, because we live in a both and world when you're in your next level of leadership. And I was going to connect with every single speaker. So I clicked on the agenda, clicked on their thing, went to their LinkedIn, their Pinterest, their Instagram, their Twitter, their Facebook, whatever they had going on, their YouTube channel. I clicked, I followed, I connected, I subscribed to every single person, at least 20, 30 strong. Because what do I say about the success? When you want success in your business, in your life, whatever you want, go give it away. So I want to be connected with people around the world, leaders who are doing big things. So I go connect with all of them, no matter how long it took me, no matter how much of a bother it was. You know, one of the things you get to know is commitment is not a feeling. That's what we learn in leadership. Commitment's not a feeling. You could be tired, you could be pissed off, you could be mad, but if you're committed and you give your word, here's the next magic. Endeavor to be in alignment and integrity with your word. Do what you say you're going to do. Don't say things that you're not going to do. It lowers your self-esteem. It lowers your confidence. Number one. So I connected with every single person. And, you know, for those who are on LinkedIn, I said, you know, hey, so-and-so, I am a fellow speaker at the GSAF conference at the AMGM Grand in Vegas. Would love to connect with you here. See you in Las Vegas. And I did that for every single person. You get to do the same thing because you're showing up in the way that you want people to connect with you. So important. So, and in fact, a couple of the people I've seen, like, you know, started following me on Instagram, and a couple reached back out in LinkedIn. So it's a small thing, but it is a massive, massive thing, right? So in addition to telling them I'm like queen of brining for the galaxy, so big, so audacious, so irrational, and so perfect, right? I also, so my talk's going to be, so I'm giving my talk to the food industry. So everybody from restaurateurs, wineries, people who are manufacturing grain, people who are, you know, creating vegan products. It runs the gamut. And so my talk, and again, this is pro tip for you, when you get the ability to speak and be in front of a room, you get to be remembered, you get to make a difference, you get to make an impact, you get to let the people have a new thought. And so as we're right in fabulous Vegas, where everything's just zhuzh and over the top, I mean, the amount of food that's going to pass through in just those few days, it's obscene. And my point is about food insecurity. So here we are, you know, all leaders in the food industry, and we get to talk about food insecurity. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, and I'm going to presence them to it. So the idea is that I think it's the numbers 9% of the world population are in food insecurity. And 1 in 4, 1 in 6 children go to bed hungry. So as leaders in the food industry, that is not okay. And what are your plans to do something about it? Are you willing to do something about it? Because if it's up to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. And it's not them, it's not somebody else who's going to solve this. It's you today, right now. That is a principle of leadership. If it's to be, it's up to me. So whether you're making wines in California, it's up to you to see to it that the people in Haiti and the children in Haiti are not in food insecurity. So it's going to be disruptive, and that's what you want to do. You want to be intentionally disruptive. You don't want to give a talk where it's just the same thing. People are on their phone. You're not challenging people. Yeah, people are going to get convicted. And let me tell you, I've put so many scripture in there, images of what God says about food. So I'm really excited about it, looking forward to it. And that's a pro tip for you when you're doing your talk. Make sure that it stands out. Make sure that you're making a point. Make sure you're causing people to think, and you're not just mailing it in, as we say. You're not just doing it just for the sake of doing it. Thank you, Facebook user. Julia, thank you. I've received that. Yes, ma'am. We are about to energize the cosmos. Love, love, love. Yes, inspired action. And we're going to ruffle some feathers, because otherwise, you know, people are asleep at the wheel sometimes. It's like we're in this this routine. We're in this like trap of thinking and doing the same things. And what do we know? Albert Einstein says, if you do the same things and expect a different result, it's insanity. And so food insecurity is not okay. Like, it just is not okay. And the key thing for all of us in any areas of our business, when we think about, well, I'm all set, my family's not starving, My boys were just here. They ate like kings. Whatever they wanted, they got. So we're set. My family is good. You know, prayers for children in Texas, prayers for the children in Atlanta, prayers for the children in Tennessee. You know, hope they get some food. God be with you. Not okay. Faith without works is dead. And so if it's to be, it's up to me. Other thing we get to presence ourselves to is that we are one. I may manifest differently in the way I look, my gender, my culture. It doesn't matter. We all come from one source. We are universally connected. So it's not her and him, it's us, right? It's not they and those, it's we. Leadership, if it's to be, it's up to me. So I'm excited to deliver that talk, but that was a sidebar. I just wanted to share with you some pro tips as I go. All right, this need, right? This need for approval, a false one, I might add, permeates all areas of our lives, our relationships at home and work, how we spend our money, the way we dress, the way we respond to both loved ones and strangers. It even affects the kinds of food we eat and what time we get up in the morning. This need to please other people causes us to have lifestyles that are not satisfying and to remain in relationships that are not supportive. Carried to the extreme, it often is this need to please others can cause illness, poverty, and even death. The great Oprah Winfrey says, those with the need to please end up with heart disease. So let's really think about how we're living, how we're moving through this earth. Are you doing things just to please people? And you get to check in with yourself. So, you know, one of the things as I'm packing, I was like, oh, should I bring this in? And then for a quick, I'm like, oh, maybe, you know, Jim's not. I'm like, wait a minute, but I want to bring it. I want to bring it. So it's being packed. It can be so small, so insidious, but you get to be just like looking everywhere. You're making decisions, you're making choices. Am I making these choices for myself? Is this something that I want, or am I doing it to keep the peace? Am I making this decision not to rock the boat? Playing to win versus playing not to lose. Distinctly different. Karen says, I accept myself for being human. I accept myself for having limitations. My uniqueness is my personality, which I carry as a means of identification. I wear the crown on my head. I stand out. I hold my head high. I love myself. Know and accept my special gifts and talents. Only I can do what I can do. There's no competition. There's only me. We all have this to be proud. Love it. Love, love, love. Okay, my love, go be awesome. So as you're making your decisions, just check in, say, okay, I'm about to make this decision. Is this for me, or am I doing it to please other people, to get acceptance, to get, you know, their love, you know, be in a relationship that's not supportive? Huge. You see, if I run my life on this basis of what you think of me, I destroy my own self, my essence, even the God within that can allow me to be loving, healthy, abundant, and fully self-expressed. This is so huge, guys. God says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You don't need no more than that. Period, done, end of story. God, who flung the stars, the sun, the moon into the galaxy, says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Why are we looking to Good Time Tina to give us anything else? Did Good Time Tina cause breath to come into your lungs? No. Why are we giving her so much power? Think about it. Is Good Time Tina your source, or is God your source? Who is your source? Give reverence and deference and honor to God. Period. Done. End of story. Not Good Time Tina, not anybody else. To the degree that I live my life in an effort to please others, I chip away at myself. If I focus my energies on pleasing other people, my life will be less magnificent than it can be. We've already talked this month about the epic life. Somebody hashtag epic magnificent life. Karen says, bye, Tina. Yes, bye and be gone. Sending you off with love and light. You, my love, are not my source. And when we can get so powerfully grounded and anchored in knowing that Good Time Tina is not the source, your magnificence is on its way. When you cleave onto the word of God and you stand on his promises and you believe, we talked about this morning in the CEO boot camp. And one of the songs is we do like a musical intro every morning, and the songs are selected based on the theme that we're working on. And this morning we did faith. Like, you have to get big faith. Jesus says little faith is powerful. Little faith is moving mountains. Little faith is telling mountains, be moved. When you have faith, you are showing God himself. I trust, I believe, I know. I am being still and knowing that you and you alone are God. I understand and believe and know that you are my source. And you show it and you demonstrate it, right? We can give lip service, all praise, all glory to God. And then the minute an opportunity presents for you to solve something in your life, then you're turning to every other place except God himself. Every other place. In fact, God just asked me to share something. So let me see if I can find it quickly. So I do my Bible study every single day. It wasn't always that way. For me to read a verse, we're talking, a number of years back. For me to read a verse or two was like a chore. Just truth and honesty and transparency was a chore because I didn't get it yet. You only get it when you get it. It's like, oh, Lord. But the one thing I was committed, because I set the intention that I wanted to read the Bible, the entire Bible, in a year. I had a colleague when I was working in a PR firm in New Jersey who had a list, a sheet. And if you guys want that sheet, just message me and just put, Bible in a year, and I'll get your email and send it to you. That served me so well. And it just literally tells you, read this, day one, this, day two. And now, glory to God, if I don't read my Bible in a day, I feel incomplete. I'm convicted. Because this is the way it gets to be. You get to have the truth and the knowing. Okay, so here it is. This was my study from yesterday. The Lord said, how terrible it will be for these stubborn children. I'm in Isaiah 30. How terrible it will be for these stubborn children. Everybody, Momentum crew, listen. They make plans, but they don't ask me to help them. They make agreements with other nations without asking my spirit. They are adding more and more sins to themselves. They go down to Egypt for help without asking me about it first. So in our modern day, going down to Egypt would be going down and having tea time with Good Time Tina at the Breakers, asking her what she thinks. What do you think I should do with my website? What do you think I should do? What do you, ma'am? Here it is. Read Isaiah 30. How terrible it will be for these stubborn children who don't understand that I am their source, these stubborn children who, when I tell them time and time again and show them wonders and signs and miracles, still choose to find their source elsewhere, making plans and don't ask me. Remember what I tell you? God is on my board of directors. He sits as the chairman of the board. I'm writing my third book now. God is my brand strategist. You get to understand where your source comes from. And so, yeah, God just dropped that in my spirit to share that with you because it's so important that we get it. So this morning we were in the CEO boot camp and it's like, yeah, you're just on the cusp of things just cracking open. I was saying to one client, and you get to deeply, deeply connect into your faith, to believe, to show God that you believe, to not spite God, to not embarrass the angels who are in chorus, in a chorale around you, energy for you. And then the minute something pops up, you're looking for help and support in all other places than God himself. All right. So, yeah. So if I focus my energies on pleasing other people, my life will be less magnificent than it can be. If in the effort to please, I allow others' ideas to control everything I do, my life will be one of constant confusion and distraction. When I say what you think of me is none of my business, I am not saying I don't listen to what is said. If I refuse to listen, I would actually close the door to the opportunity to have learning experiences. What I mean is that ideally, I can use what you think of me as a guide and a mirror for my own life. The reflection of myself and what you say about me can give me a clearer view of myself and allow me to grow as a person. But more often, I use this reflection or input from others to make myself feel guilty, wrong, and insecure. I then try to change my act to please others, and the vicious circle begins. In that sense, what you think of me should be none of my business. Every time another expresses an opinion about me, I have two choices. I can either take the view of another and use it to reinforce negative mental patterns I already have, or I can use the information to get rid of that which I do not want. If I choose the latter, I have the opportunity to grow, to improve in any area of my life, my job, my relationship, my health. You see, to the degree that we can take a really good look at ourselves and see ourselves objectively and lovingly, we're able to participate more fully in this life. Most of us can see ourselves to a certain degree, but often our objective and loving view of ourselves is narrow, particularly if we rely on others for confirmation of how we see ourselves. God says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. It is absolutely imperative that each of us learns to love himself or herself, and that's what this book is about. When I say love yourself, I'm not talking about an ego trip or indulgence in pride. I'm talking about the universal truth that each of us is an individualized expression of God. And God does not make junk. Somebody hashtag that. What? God does not make junk. Wow. It is only out of this objective self-love that we are able to love our neighbors, to tell the truth about what we want, and to experience life to its fullest. Unfortunately, too often we look to other people to give us what we think we need and waste a lot of time trying to get what we want from them. We become self-obsessed, and the result is that we never feel really okay about ourselves. We judge ourselves constantly, and our verdict is usually guilty. In fact, our relationship with other people provide a tremendous opportunity. If we're open to feedback from people, we can learn great truths about ourselves. But being open to feedback is completely different from plugging into others for our good. You guys get that? Feedback. Be open to receiving feedback, absolutely. But it doesn't mean then that you're going to take everything hook, line, and sinker and change just to please that person who gave you feedback. Feedback, you get to be an inquiry and discovery. Interesting. Okay. I hear you that, I'm showing up this way, or I hear you that your experience of me is this. That doesn't mean you go running down Main Street crying because somebody said my experience of you is playing small. You get to go, that's interesting. So a few people are saying I'm showing up, I'm playing small. Okay, I get to get curious about that. What's going on? What's underneath that? Why am I playing small? What am I hiding from? But it doesn't mean you make a beeline, a U-turn, and shift and do everything that person thinks should be done because you want to make sure you're being true to yourself. Let's see here. Let me just get rid of this person. Not sure what's going on there. Okay. All right. But okay. We plug in when we hunger and thirst for their approval. But when we lose ourselves and are able to be sincere with ourselves, we can look at what others say and decide objectively if it has any value or truth in it for us. This objective opening up releases our own potential and our ability to participate more fully in every area of life. Being objective, of course, is not easy, but we can learn. Now, there's a great difference between taking an objective view of what others think of us and allowing them to dump their own insecurities and fears upon us. Certainly, people can need to express themselves to you, but you don't have to agree. Unhappily, we tend to plug into their hangups and their ideas of how life and our behavior should be. Sure, everyone has a point of view, doubts, expectations, and that's all it is, theirs. They tend to take it personally, make it their own, and to feel the need to defend and make excuses. In doing so, we lose our objectivity. Just remember that when others seek to dump their insecurities on you, what they are really saying is simply a reflection of where they are. So there's so much interesting commentary in this, right? So we're open to feedback and we remain objective and we get into inquiry. We search around. Is there any truth in this? Is there anything that this person's reflecting back that sort of stings? Or I'm like, yeah, I kind of see that about myself too. Or is somebody just taking the opportunity to give feedback so that they can dump on you, they can hate on you, they can say all the things they wanted to say for the longest time just because they're not aligned with your greatness, with your boldness? Because again, their own insecurities about them wishing they could be that bold, them wishing that they could be that audacious. So it's really important for you to stay so present so you can distinguish. You can know when there's feedback where it's a constructive, objective observation versus somebody's just coming to dump on you. So example, if I said, Marva, oh my God, like your hair is totally purple. Why did you do your hair purple? And Marva, your hair, what color is your hair, Marva? And if Marva's still with us, if Marva's hair is black or brown or any combination in between, and I say, oh my gosh, your hair is purple. Like, I don't even know why you would go purple in the first, and her hair's not purple. There's nothing for her to respond. Like, right. She's going to look at me like, what's wrong with Faith? She needs to have her eyes checked because my hair clearly is not purple, right? It doesn't land for Marva. She has no energy around it because she's like, my hair is brown. If somebody were to say, Marva, my experience of you, how you're showing up is playing small, not using your greatness, hiding. When that lands and Marva has energy around it, or she feels like a little convicted, kind of like seen, outed, there's truth in that, in the sense that that's sort of how she was seeing herself as well. Next step is not to go running down the street. Oh my God, Faith called me out my name. She said I was playing small and I was hiding. And it's like, okay. So yeah, I've noticed that a few times about myself, and I get curious about, why is it that I'm showing up small? Is it that I don't believe that I'm gifted? Where is that coming from? Who told me I wasn't gifted? So you see, there's a whole process. This is why, guys, you get to do leadership, because I can only give you a smattering. I can only give you a smattering of what I've done in 4 months. Like, think about that. So you get to be in a leadership program, obviously pronto. Second half of the year is fast upon us. But you get to not be stuck in the same place that you have been. Look back to a year prior. Have you made any quantum leaps? Did anything shift for you significantly in your life? Did you cause any big things to happen? Did you impact any person's life such to the point that they ended up having a quantum leap? What did you cause in 6 months? Did you create anything magical for yourself or for others? If you haven't, right, this is now you get to be an inquiry. It's like, okay, wow. So these past 6 months, just kind of par for the course. If I look back a year, kind of more the same. Let that be a nugget in your brain to go, I get to do something about this, because life is now. Life is now. We're praying for the families of Surfside, Florida. I mean, think about that. Asleep in your home, and in the next minute, the walls around you are crashing in on you. Life is now. Now. Oh, I'm going to wait until next, 2 months when I have. No, life is now. Life is now. So I'm going to wrap us there, because I get to go pack. I mean, I've started, but yeah, there's loads to do. So for July, let me hear from you guys. What do you have on deck for July? And if you don't have anything in July, let me invite you to come get enrolled in the CEO Bootcamp. The CEO 2 cohort kicks off July 12th. If you know that you need support, you need guidance, you need help, you know that being in the same place where you are another 6 months, another year is not okay, then let's definitely have a conversation. So I'm going to put the link here. Remember, universal law is about more life. If you're not moving forward, you're dying. There is no staying still. This is the stuff we make up. Oh, there is no neutral universal law. You're either moving forward or you're dying, because energy is all about vibration. Every single thing vibrates. Even this table right now, it may look like a solid piece of structure. It is vibrating. If you put it under a microscope, you will see at the cellular level, it's vibrating. Universal law says more life. Life is always expanding. For those of you who are gardeners, you know, even the weeds adhere to universal life. They don't have any issues. They're like, oh, I'm a weed. Nobody wants me. They're always throwing us out. We're never invited to the bouquets. The weeds are unbothered. The weeds don't give a damn. The weeds are like, we are about more life. We will be fully expressed. And if you don't tend to that garden, here come the weeds in all of their fancy and glory. Universal more life. You too adhere to universal law, more life. Where can you create more life in your expression, in your ways of being? Stop kidding yourself. There's no such thing as I'm just staying still. You're either moving forward, you're expanding, or you're dying. You got it, my love. Absolutely. Yep. You get to come in and be CEO for sure. Masira, my love. Comment ça va, chérie? This is my buddy in leadership from Belgium, the Goddess Riser. I'm actually going to have her on as a guest on Brand Momentum Show. So for those of you who have challenges receiving, stepping into your feminine goddess, you want to know Masira Lizani. Yes, life is now. Yes, the weeds are unbothered. They have no issue with low self-esteem, self-confidence, even though they know every single weekend, here come the weekend warriors with their roundup, with their this, with their that, like hacking in. If they have a foothold in soil, they're rising up. They are unbothered. They are determined. They are unfettered. They are more life. Universal law. Oh, my love. Thank you. I love you so much. So that's what gets to happen, guys. You get to get into the CEO intensive. There's no time like the present. I can tell you the cohort that's going right now, so much magic, so much shifting. Here's the thing that happens. It's not like you're doing a once a month mastermind where, let's just be honest, you go, you take notes, you leave. It's like out of sight, out of mind. You don't do anything. In the CEO Bootcamp Mastermind Intensive, you're working with me every single day. Like, that's how committed I am to your transformation, to your success, because I know I've been doing this work long enough that most people get to have support. Most people get to have ideas. Most people get to have me download strategies for them in the moment. I have one client in now, so we used one of the holidays, and I said, here's the thing, instead of, post it and go create a Zoom session this evening and, have a session where you invite those people in. She had maybe close to 30 people register, 13 showed up live. She got a new client out of that. That's just from one day in the mastermind. Countless others. Obviously, you saw a lot of the clients on with me as co-hosts with David Meltzer on the Brand Momentum Morning Show. It's just all kinds of magic. Because literally the difference between any other program that I'm doing and this is I'm literally opening up the doors to my agency, and I'm giving you and showing you every single thing that I'm doing. Everything that I'm doing, you get. And so it's custom. So it's like, it's fully embodied. It's not like, oh, here are these 6 modules and you're done. No, I'm literally opening up, showing you, sharing my screen, telling you exactly what you get to do. And so much transformation, so much movement. When you think about if you had like stagnant water, where you're just stuck and you're just staying stuck in your stuckness for what good reason? To be right, to prove a point. Meanwhile, life is now. And if you're not in expansion, what did I just say? You're in contraction and you're dying. Your business is dying. And so you get to stop that now, because there's so much that we get to do. There's so much service that we get to show up for. The people for whom God has put in front of you to be served are waiting for you. And again, locking into distinction of leadership. If it's to be, it's up to me. It's not some other coach. It's not some other wellness person. It's not some other energy healer. It's not some other farmer. It's not some other educator. It's you. If it's to be, it's up to me. You get to decide you're going to show up. You get to decide that even if it's uncomfortable, even whatever. I told you, right? I connected with almost 30 speakers because my intention is to be in connection. Another distinction of breakthrough. So I connected with every single one of them. I just didn't pick and choose and go, well, these two look like they could be all of them. Industries that have zero to do with me. But here's a pro tip. This is what I want you guys to get from what I'm doing. Like, why am I giving a keynote speech to the food industry? You'd think it'd be going into like, business or coaches or any, because you get to show up as the only, right? I get to show up as the only person in business development, branding, marketing, social media in a food conference where everybody else is in food industry. My business is not in food, but here I am amongst hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in the food industry to cause them to think differently. Because I know if it's to be, if it's up to me. If food insecurity gets to be eradicated, it's up to me, even though I don't have anything to do with food. You guys what I'm saying? It's still up to me. It's still up to me. Even though, nevertheless, even though I have nothing to do with the food industry other than like food is my friend and I consume it happily, but I don't cause any food to be created. I don't cause any food to be distributed, and it's still up to me. So what do you guys have planned for July? Let me know. What are you going to be causing? What's going to be different, unique, and special about the way you show up in the second half of the year? This is like we're in halftime. The game is on the line. Another distinction of leadership. Live your life as if your life and the life of others depends on it, because it does. It absolutely does. The life of the people in the Sudan, in Haiti, in South Africa, Republic, their ability to get food and get out of food insecurity is reliant upon me. That's how I see it. That's when you're in your leadership, you see it that way. So I get to cause an amazing presentation that's going to get them to be not only convicted, they're going to hear a word from the Lord. They're going to understand that food is more than just a commodity. Food is more than fuel. And this presentation is going to cause the leaders in the food industry to come away with a new plan, a new energy, a new direction, and do some things that will absolutely bring more food to the children in Haiti, bring more food to the people in the Sudan. And I, as source, cause that, even though I'm not in the food industry. Do you guys get this? So what are you doing in July that you're causing some big things to happen? Life is now. And if you don't know and you're like, I'm stuck, and find the link, go get enrolled in the CEO Bootcamp. Okay. Karen says September is her big day. July, finishing a book, putting finishing touches on our membership. So Karen, have you shared this? So this is not just for Karen, this is everyone. When you're in production, it's like when you think about going to a movie, what's one of the things that we know about when you go to see a movie? What do we see? What like look around? What's the movie going experience? We're gonna do this in 10 minutes because I get to go. But this is important. When you go to a movie, what's the experience? Quick, people, Momentum crew, I know you guys got this. Just drop them in the comments real fast. When you go to the movie, it's not just walk in the door, show the ticket and sit down and then the movie starts, right? Yes or yes, right? You go in, there's the entry, there's a gallery where you have all of the posters from movies that are either like showing or will be showing. There's a concession stand with all sorts of like, sugary goodies and, savory eats. Then you go and give your ticket and you sit down, and then what? The coming attractions is a big, huge, it's almost like 15 minutes, right, of the movie going experience. Coming attractions. So question for Karen, question for all of you. Are you doing any coming attractions? out to your people, out to the public. So Karen, have you done a live where, let's see, Karen says she's just finishing a book and putting the finish. Okay. So Karen, do you mean like authoring a book? You just finished July, just finishing a book. So I'm just going to assume, let's just say it's Karen's writing this book where you have your phone. Listen, I did a post the other day, don't sleep on the selfies. The selfies are a business tool when it comes to building your brand. Take a picture of yourself. If you're at the computer, if your manuscript is kind of like partially seen, or if you actually have the manuscript printed and you're editing whatever, picture. So excited. We're in the finishing touches of the book. Also at the same time, finishing touches on the membership. September is going to be a big month. Who's excited? Who wants to get on the waiting list? Go ahead and comment wait list below. I will get you on. Can't wait to see everyone in September. Something like that. Karen, have you ever done anything like that? Yes, you are, ma'am. Yes, you are. Oh my gosh, yes, your program's amazing. I can't wait for you to bring it to where, what did I say? My vision, I told in my presentation, my vision is to build standout, amazing, powerful brands, reputation in the galaxy, because we're going to start building brands on Mars. All right. Created a program that will cause women to show as goddess in their life, business, family, relationship, and in the world. Perfect. Yeah, important to always see the world. Wealth program, know how to get rich and get rid of their limitations around money. Okay, great. So you get to be talking about that. There needs to be coming attractions. You need to be doing a selfie with, if you have like the outline, like you just literally on paper have like, you know, maybe at the top of it, it just says like Goddess Riser, and there's you with your hand starting to write, and there's a picture of that, and you post that, and it's like, hey, it's guys, building engagement. If this is what I do, this naturally. I'm never not thinking about my brand. Everywhere I go, it's like I look with like brand bionic eyes. I see opportunities for connection. I see opportunities for content. If you're in the Brand Accelerator program, you know, we do always like the Life Gives You Content challenge. Content is everywhere. There is no shortage for content. The key is to talk about the content and then connect it to your brand in a way that's, you know, cohesive and makes sense. You know, like I shared a while ago when my husband and I were in, you know, we went like kind of hiking around in the Everglades, and I saw this big rock, and there was a little bush growing out of the rock. There is no soil. No, it's just growing out of the side of a rock. Content. Bloom where you're planted. You may feel like everything is coming up against you. Everywhere you turn, it's like you're hitting your head against a rock. But guess what? When you have intention, when you are in your even though nevertheless, you can actually grow out of the rock, right? Because I'm showing this picture that I took. Bloom where you're planted, get into possibility. If you need help getting unstuck, if you need possibilities in like, you know, quantum leaping into your mindset and your business, get connected with me, call to action, blah, 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 blah. I just did a piece of brand content about a rock, a little rock, and a little bush growing out of a rock in the Everglades. Like you would think, oh, a bush and a rock in the Everglades got nothing to do with branding. That's where I get to expand your mind, because content is everywhere. Your content calendar should be completely filled. You should be like posting things twice a day. You got so much content. And if you're stuck, you get to do something about it. You don't get to keep complaining and in the same thing, like nobody wants to hear the same story. Oh, I don't know what to put. Nope, ma'am. Help is here. Like if you didn't know, now you know. Help is here, and you get to be on stuck. There's no reason. I could do this all day. You guys know this about me. I can create content from anything. You just have to do mind expansion. That's what we do in the CEO program. All right. So let your July and beyond be expansive. Let your July and beyond be magnificent. Let your July and beyond be impactful. Cause some stuff to happen. Just not run through the same mulberry bush doing the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. Nope. That's not the master plan for your life. That's not the master plan for the people God has assigned you to. They're waiting, ma'am. Your people are waiting. And the more you continue to dilly-dally and get into your stories and your excuses and your reasons, serves no one. Waste time and serves no one. Your people are waiting. Getting into more life. Universal law is more life, full expansion. Everything's moving. If you're not expanding in your life and your business, you are dying. So with that, I'm going to wrap us for the month of July. How did you guys love this book? I definitely am going to read this again. This will be a wonderful summer read again for July. So many good opportunities. There will not be a show on the 5th. Obviously, that's the day we're going to be celebrating independence. And I'm actually going to be out of town, say prayers for my mother-in-law, Penny. She's going to be having surgery on the 6th. And so we're going to be in Minnesota that week with her. So I will keep you guys posted on the book for July. Look for that. Go into the Savvy Branders tribe if you're not a member. Go comment and show what you're on this Momentum Monday. What are you causing? What's working? What are you doing? I love you guys so much. Be well. Take such good care. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. No self-judgment. And you get mobilized ASAP. Go click on the CEOintensive.com. Let's talk. Talk to you guys. Bye.